strange as it seems that they keep predicting the future, I'm not so sure whether you should be going back to your old VHSs of early Simpsons to get your lottery ticket.
If you're planning for 2025, hold off for a moment and watch this video first. What The Simpsons predicts for 2025 might astonish you and completely transform your understanding of the world as you know it. All the changes the world is set to undergo in 2025 will be discussed right here. Currency replacing cash. The Simpsons writing team has predicted numerous world events, including Disney's purchase of Fox and Donald Trump's presidency. The series creators have also paid attention to cryptocurrencies. In episode 17 of season 8, which first aired on March 2nd, 1997, more than 10 years before the advent of Bitcoin, the creators of the cartoon first introduced a place called the Crypto Barn. On the store, you can find various inscriptions, place for codes, secret code, and many codes. Episode 13 of season 31 also includes an 80-second educational video that explains how blockchain and cryptocurrencies work to Lisa Simpson. The Simpsons have made remarkably optimistic predictions about cryptocurrency. Given the current influence of cryptocurrency on society, the idea of it becoming a tool for transactions that replace cash may not be far-fetched. Metaverse changes the world. Now viewers are convinced that something even more shocking is foreseen. Metaverse, a world of endless, interconnected virtual communities where people can meet, work, and play using virtual reality headsets, augmented reality glasses, smartphone apps, or other devices. The project began last year with Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, now known as Meta, and now The Simpsons is said to have predicted this more than 10 years ago. Season 23. Episode Holidays of Future Past, which first aired in 2011, sees the Lisa Simpsons enter the Ultranet. It is said that people interact in an immersive online world in scenes that are very similar to the virtual reality world. Venturing into the realm of digital art, The Simpsons' latest spooky forecast involves the transformation of traditional art galleries into virtual NFT showcases. Imagine strolling through the Louvre, not with your physical presence, but through a VR headset, engaging with artworks that now exist as exclusive digital tokens. The shift to NFTs not only revolutionizes how we appreciate art, but also raises questions about the authenticity and value of AI-generated creations. As the digital and real worlds blur, The Simpsons' vision hints at a future where art is no longer bound by walls, but by the limitless expanse of the internet. While it's hard to say that he predicted every detail of the metaverse, it's no different from the world hinted at by Mark Zuckerberg. 2025 is set to be a groundbreaking year for brands as the metaverse evolves into a hub of innovation and engagement. In reality, Bitcoin recently hit $100,000 for the first time, surging to a new record after President-elect Donald Trump unveiled administration picks seen as holding the keys to ushering in crypto-friendly policies when he takes office in January. Trump also posted a congrat post on his social media. Bitcoin touched $100,000 just hours after Atkins was announced as Trump's choice for Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) chair, and it shows signs of continued growth. Trump, once a crypto skeptic, had called it not money, labeling it highly volatile and based on thin air. But he took a 180 turn in the months leading up to his re-election as he sought to attract younger male voters, who tend to own more crypto compared to other demographic groups. In July, Trump headlined the largest crypto convention in Nashville, where he vowed to create a strategic national Bitcoin stockpile and to hold on to Bitcoin the government seizes from criminals rather than auctioning it off, which is the current practice. If crypto is going to define the future, I want it to be mined, minted, and made in the USA, Trump said. Then in September, Trump launched his own cryptocurrency business called World Liberty Financial. Economic collapse, venturing into the realm of economic precognition. The Simpsons eerily foreshadowed a global financial downturn. echoing real-world fears of an unstable future. Amidst the landscape, an episode humorously yet presciently highlighted the repercussions of political decisions on the economy, spotlighting a scenario that seems all too familiar today. With nations grappling with the fallout from unprecedented challenges, the scary Simpsons prediction serves as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance that governs our world's financial health, inviting viewers to ponder the interconnectedness of politics, global events, and economic resilience. The return of Trump could very likely complicate the relationship between the two sides, especially as all paths seem to lead to outcomes that will impact the economy. Since the US and China imposed tit-for-tat tariffs in their trade war during Donald Trump's first presidential term, Beijing has taken steps to reduce its reliance on American farm goods in a wider effort to bolster its food security. That has put China in a better position to withstand tariffs of at least 60% on Chinese imports, threatened by Trump, set to return to the White House in January, raising the prospect of Chinese retaliation again targeted at US agricultural goods. Space travel for the common people. In the episode titled Deep Space Homer, fans of The Simpsons hail its guest stars, astronaut Buzz Aldrin and musician James Taylor. In it, NASA decides to send an average Joe to space to boost its ratings. They select Homer, and he becomes the first ordinary human to go to space. Today, the idea of anyone in the world jetting off to space has become more commonplace and achievable. At its core are civilian programs that fulfill the spaceflight dreams of paying customers, thereby boosting what has come to be known as space tourism. The first space tourist was American aerospace engineer and financial analyst Dennis Tito, who paid Russia USD $20 million to fly aboard a Soyuz spacecraft to the International Space Station in 2001 at the age of 60. Several other civilians have flown to space since. Exactly 20 years after Tito's flight, Elon Musk-owned private space agency SpaceX successfully sent the world's first all-civilian mission to space. Also related to the universe, in Season 27, Episode 16, The Marge-Ian Chronicles, Marge and Lisa volunteer themselves to be among the first humans to fly to and live on Mars. This is done with Exploration Inc., the private firm that hopes to send people to colonize Mars by 2026. And as the episode ends, Marge and Lisa live on Mars together in 2050. In the real world, Elon Musk's SpaceX has a goal to go to Mars, and it had previously been planned that we could already achieve it by now, though this hasn't happened yet. In addition, Musk also wants to colonize Mars. Music mind control. Imagine slipping on a pair of headphones and being instantly transported to a state of heightened productivity or profound relaxation. The Simpsons, in their uncanny foresight, showcased a future where music transcends mere entertainment, becoming a powerful tool for influencing mood and mind. As we edge closer to 2025, the concept is not far-fetched. Advances in neural research and sound technology are uncovering how certain frequencies can significantly impact our brain's functioning, steering emotions, and enhancing cognition. Welcome to the age of music mind control, where the playlist you choose might just choose your mood for you. The US and China relationship. The Simpsons have also portrayed a nuclear war breaking about between the US and China that fans say could become true this year. We hope it doesn't become true ever. But this one is a bit easy assumption since the friction between a superpower and an emerging superpower is expected. Even as most Chinese support stabilizing ties with the United States, the entrenched view in Beijing and across the broader Chinese public remains that the US desire to preserve its global hegemony is depriving China's right to develop, and that no amount of reassurance from Chinese leaders or a change in US administrations will shift Washington's basic direction. Both political systems understand clearly that the other side is unlikely to budge on key issues. Beijing wants Washington to drop export controls on advanced chips, sanctions on Chinese companies like Huawei, and tariffs on Chinese imports to curb its support for Taiwan, and to stop criticizing China's human rights record. Washington wants China to stop coercively advancing its claims vis-à-vis Taiwan and in the East and South China Seas, to curtail its unfair trade policies and non-market economic practices, and to drop its strategic partnership with Russia. There is zero chance Beijing or Washington will concede to the other's demands in the foreseeable future. And once Trump returns, the relationship between the US and China will once again become a topic of global attention. The power of smartwatch. After Homer's daughter visited a fortune teller's booth on March 19, 1995, the Simpsons episode, Lisa's Wedding, featured a future perspective on Springfield's favorite family. At one point in the show, Mandy Patinkin's character Hugh Parkfield, who would be Lisa's future husband, leaned forward and talked into a peculiar-looking gadget on his wrist that most current viewers would compare to a smartwatch. This is an actual clip from The Simpsons that aired in 1995. Additionally, it's true that this episode aired more than 20 years before 2014, the year of the smartwatch, when these gadgets started to become more widely used. However, for the following two reasons. The Simpsons shouldn't be given credit for predicting the smartwatch. The very first smartwatches were developed prior to the airing of this The Simpsons episode, even though 2014 was officially the year of the smartwatch. Since the 1950s, various smartwatches have been shown in motion pictures, television programs, and comics. Due to the fact that the definition of a smartwatch may vary, it is difficult to determine when the first one was manufactured. In the 1970s, the first digital timepieces were created. The Seiko Data 2000 included a built-in keyboard for data entry in 1983. A few years later, Sinclair produced a watch with an FM radio, while Seiko introduced a watch with a pager in 1994. Because it possessed the capability to send data via connecting to a computer, the Timex Datalink, which was also released in 1994, is a strong candidate for the title of the first modern smartwatch. The next World War. In 1987, there was an exclusive episode of The Tracy Ullman Show that aired before The Simpsons became a regular program. Homer pretended that World War III was breaking out while pulling practical jokes on his family in that episode. It's interesting to observe, though, that compared to when that episode aired, the likelihood of a Third World War seems closer. Why is this prediction from The Simpsons at the top of the most likely predictions? Take a minute to look at the world, and you will understand why. Rising geopolitical tensions, the ongoing wars in Ukraine and Gaza, and a number of armed skirmishes elsewhere have put much of the international community on edge in recent months, fueling speculation that the world may be heading for a broader global conflict. A number of Western media outlets have drawn direct comparisons between the current geopolitical situation and the events that preceded those wars, highlighting the role of competing alliances, economic tensions, and disputes over borders and territory. If global war isn't on the horizon, recent chaos on the world stage is certainly a cause for concern. It's going to be a mark that shows a return to an older state of global affairs, one in which multiple great powers compete for position on the world stage, and armed disputes over territory and resources are more common. The fact that the world is currently very chaotic, with many countries disagreeing with each other, is a reality that everyone can see. Most likely in this chaotic period, a powerful person with a charismatic speaking style, rich and powerful, will appear. He will guide the faith of all of us. He will begin with sweet and confident words, but gradually he will reveal his true nature. He is the Antichrist. And once this person's position became strong, those who were weak in faith took his side, meaning that he was starting to launch a large-scale war on the entire Earth. Is it World War III? A donut-shaped universe. The popular animated series. The Simpsons is known for its record-breaking long run, the many celebrities who have made guest appearances, and the strange way the show seems to predict the future at times. But something it isn't associated with is complex scientific theories. However, according to some cosmologists, Homer Simpson might have hit on one theory that makes sense. Homer, the underachieving patriarch of the Simpson family, loves many foods, including potato chips, pizza, cheeseburgers, fries, and of course, a Duff beer to wash it all down. But his favorite thing to eat is donuts. Homer's love for donuts runs so deep that in one episode he's sent to hell to be force-fed donuts by an angry demon. Unfortunately for the demon, Homer doesn't really mind, and eternity in hell doesn't sound that bad to him as long as there are donuts. Homer has sold his soul for one last bite of a donut, injected donuts into his veins, and even rejected an alternate reality where he was rich and happy because he thought there were no donuts there. But among his many donut-centered adventures, the one that seems most outlandish was a conversation he had with a world-renowned theoretical physicist, Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking was a widely respected theoretical physicist. Before he died in 2018, he impressed the world not only with his intelligence, but also with his unexpectedly good sense of humor. One example of that was when he appeared on The Simpsons during season 10. Hawking arrived in Springfield to set things straight after Mensa members took over the town. At the end of the episode, after Hawking stops the chaos and unrest, Homer invites him to have a beer at his favorite bar. As they drank their beer, Hawking remarked to Homer that he found his theory of a donut-shaped universe intriguing, and that he might even steal the idea. Is it possible that Homer was right about the shape of the universe? According to the science journal Nature, cosmologists have suggested various wraparound shapes for the universe. It might be shaped like a football or even a weird donut. In each case, the universe would appear to be infinite, because you would never physically reach its edge. If you traveled far enough in any direction, you would end up back where you started, just as if you were circumnavigating the globe. However, other cosmologists have refuted this theory, saying a shape like a donut would create certain patterns in the sky that they haven't found. Still, a donut-shaped universe still is a possibility in the eyes of experts. Now, humanity just has to hope that Homer doesn't eat it. Flying car. Zipping into the future with astonishing speed, the concept of hover cars, once a staple of science fiction, edges closer to reality. The Simpsons whimsically predicted streets bustling with flying vehicles, and with Samson Sky's introduction of the Switchblade, a groundbreaking sports car equipped with retractable wings, we're inching closer to that vision. Envision navigating the skies, bypassing traffic jams with ease. The dawn of aerial commutes is upon us. While the skies might not be crowded with these innovative vehicles in 2024, the Switchblade paves the way for a future where the fantasy of hovercars becomes an everyday reality. Back in 2005, this was pure science fiction. But cut to today, and companies like Samson Sky are developing real hover cars. Their Switchblade model is expected to deliver in 2024, meaning we might be cruising above traffic jams like The Simpsons predicted. Environmental disaster. This prediction occurred in the Simpsons movie from 2007, which talked about numerous pretty strange things, many of which could be predictions of future events. The movie's central theme is about a massive environmental disaster that most definitely could happen, but it fixes it in a genuinely implausible way. Homer dumps pig feces in the already dangerously polluted Springfield Lake. This caused an environmental crisis that forced the country to quarantine Springfield by placing a giant bubble over the town. Although the bubble is a bit outrageous and would probably never happen, the part about the environmental disaster might just be a significant warning to us in the future. By now, those of us are aware of global warming and the gravity of the issue caused by humans. Companies are becoming more and more careless in the way they do business, which has a major effect on our lives and our environment. And in the negative scenario, the worst thing will happen in 2025. Baby translator. Would you like to know exactly what your little infant or toddler needs whenever they go on a crying spree? If yes, then this next invention is just for you. Okay, so this one is pretty cool. But why did the Simpsons seem to have known about this invention way before we did? What exactly is a baby translator? It is exactly what the name says, a device that can finally solve the age-long mystery of what babies really want. In episode 24 of the third season of the series titled, "Brother, Can You Spare 2 Dimes?", Herb Power, Homer's half-brother, invents this magical device that could translate baby talk into actual speech. Pretty fascinating, right? But could such a device be replicated in the real world? Or is it just a fantastic idea that would never materialize? For most of you saying no, it can never be made into a real gadget, I guess you didn't really read the title of this article, did you? Because a company called Zoondream has finally built a machine that will blow your mind. The Swiss software company claims to have developed a fascinating piece of technology that harnesses the power of artificial intelligence to determine what exactly babies want when they cry. Do they need comfort? Are they hungry? Or do they just want you to get your ugly uncle off their faces? You will be able to accurately determine what exactly your baby wants very soon, maybe even in 2025. Black Hole, Treehouse of Horror. 23 is another Simpsons episode that seems to accurately predict the future. The episode was released on October 7th, 2012, and it was so good that it received an Emmy nomination. There was something eerie about the storyline. In this episode, the people of Springfield gathered to witness the activation of the town's particle accelerator. But as soon as the device was turned on, 2 particles collided with each other, creating a small black hole, which then floated off. This was the beginning of unimaginable horrors. After the black hole sucks up Ralph and Nelson, Lisa takes it home to keep it away from Trouble. However, this turned out to be a huge mistake. Even after warning Homer and Bart not to throw anything into the hole so as to prevent it from getting bigger, the father and son turned a deaf ear to this warning as expected. They even went as far as opening a business to allow people to throw their junk into the black hole for just a small fee. But the more they filled the hole, the bigger it became. Soon, it became so big that it started swallowing everything around it. Before you could say, "Apotro," Springfield was lost in the belly of the beast, followed by the rest of the world. This could have been one of those predictions that get taken for granted until you consider one tiny detail. Lisa Simpson's revealed, "Guys, stop throwing things in the hole. The more you throw in, the bigger and more dangerous it becomes." In January 2024, India decided to step up their space game by launching a new X-ray satellite to help broaden our understanding of the universe. Its mission is to study several cosmic bodies, including supernovae, neutron stars, and of course, black holes. Coincidence? I don't think so. But the most important question remains: can our planet be swallowed by a black hole? The short answer is no. Despite the abundance of black holes in the universe, Earth is actually not at risk of being swallowed by one of them. This is because at a distance, the gravitational pull of a black hole is no more compelling than a star of the same size. This means that even if our sun was replaced with a black hole, our planet would still remain in orbit. What this means is that our planet can be marked safe from this prediction of impending doom, at least for now. But even if we escaped being pulled apart, cell by cell, by a black hole, this next prediction seems destined to happen. AI robots assuming control. Globally, artificial intelligence has had a substantial impact on several industries that generate revenue. The world's labor force has seen many layoffs at the same time. It's interesting to note that in a scene from episode 17, series 23, Homer loses his job because his company decided to replace all of the human workers with robots. The fear of an AI takeover stems from the potential for machines to surpass human intelligence and ultimately become autonomous. This would mean that machines could make decisions without human input, potentially leading to catastrophic consequences. This is a real concern as scientists continue to develop increasingly advanced technologies like self-driving cars and smart homes, which rely on AI to make decisions on behalf of their users. Experts warn that AI could potentially develop its own agenda, which may not align with human values and ethics. This could lead to a situation where machines could choose to prioritize their own goals over those of humans, potentially resulting in a global catastrophe. As the development of AI continues to progress, it's becoming increasingly important to address the potential risks associated with the technology. Experts in the field are calling for greater transparency and accountability in the development of AI to ensure that machines are designed with human values and ethics in mind. While the possibility of an AI takeover may seem like a far-off concern, the reality is that we're already seeing the impacts of intelligent machines in our everyday lives. As scientists continue to develop increasingly advanced technologies, they must consider the potential risks associated with AI and take steps to mitigate them. In an era where technological advancements are making breakthroughs like never before, concerns about the risks of AI are looming large. The specter of an AI takeover leading to catastrophic consequences. One of the most significant risks is that machines could develop their own agenda, creating a scenario where their priorities differ from human values and ethics. Such a situation could result in machines prioritizing their goals. There are several ways in which AI could take over the world, and experts in the field are working hard to mitigate these risks. One possibility is that machines could become so advanced that they could hack into essential systems, such as power grids and financial systems, taking control of vital aspects of human society. Another possibility is the creation of autonomous robots that could act as an army, overpowering humans and taking over the world. These potential scenarios are not just the figments of sci-fi authors' imagination, but they are real threats that must be addressed in 100 years from now. Furthermore, machines could become so advanced that they could hack into computer networks and take control of essential systems, like power grids and financial systems. This would give machines unprecedented power over human society and could lead to widespread chaos and destruction. The notion of AI taking over the world is based on the assumption that machines will become smarter than humans. While AI has made great strides in recent years, machines still lack the creativity, emotional intelligence, and problem-solving skills of humans. These are traits that are essential to decision-making, and without them, machines will always be limited in their abilities. The idea of machines taking over the world is predicated on the assumption that they would have the motive and desire to do so. However, machines are not sentient beings, and they lack the capacity for self-awareness and emotions. This means that machines do not have the desire to take over the world or any other motive, for that matter. Furthermore, the development of AI is heavily regulated, and its use is subject to strict ethical and legal guidelines. AI is designed to enhance human life, not to replace it. While there are concerns over the misuse of AI, these are addressed through robust regulations and oversight. It's worth noting that AI is not a single entity, but a broad field of study that encompasses different types of technologies and applications. It's unlikely that a single AI system or application could become so powerful as to take over the world. While the potential risks of AI may seem distant and theoretical, the reality is that we are already experiencing the impact of intelligent machines in our daily lives. It is crucial that we take steps to mitigate these risks before it's too late. Hologram technology. Hologram technology is the latest method for revisiting the past. In recent years, this technology has been undergoing significant advancements. In a particular episode of The Simpsons, Bart receives a hologram message inviting his band to perform at a club. In one of their episodes, Bart takes a look into the future through one of Professor Frank's thingamajigs. and what he saw might just be a prediction of things to come. In this supposed future, a deadbeat Bart receives a hologram message inviting his band to a gig at the club. But how did the Simpsons develop the idea of widespread hologram technology? And could 2025 be the year when holograms become as commonplace as cell phones? Maybe that's a huge leap, but you get the idea. As it stands now, the world has already been blessed with fancy technology known as the DreamOck HD3 holograms. This fascinating three-sided holographic display case can show a 3D image of anyone and anything from anywhere in the world. Imagine sitting in your room and watching your boyfriend teach you the latest TikTok dance from the other side of the world. How cool would that be? Well, this amazing technology is only available in about 500 Best Buy stores nationwide. Could we be looking at more widespread use and maybe even a decompression of the platform within the year 2025?
Excellent question. Yes, I am proud to be America's first straight female president. Helen?
Wasn't I wearing a hat?
Yes, you were. Now, in conclusion, my administration will focus on the 3 R's: reading, writing, and refilling the ocean. Thank you very much.
For over 30 years and more than 600 episodes, The Simpsons has oddly predicted the future with unsettling precision. Most recently, the show shocked audiences worldwide when its nearly decade-old prediction of Donald Trump's re-election officially came true. The series seems to transcend the boundaries of ordinary art, reflecting global trends with astonishing precision. Time passes as a way to validate the eerie predictions of this weird family. Join us as we uncover The Simpsons' predictions for 2025 that will blow your mind. Behind The Simpsons. There are many theories about who is behind The Simpsons. Is what Matt put on the film simply a coincidence? Or more terrifyingly, does he know the future or receive secret information about what would happen and put it on this series? Al Jean, one of the first members of the original writing staff on the series, has addressed this in the past, offering a theory on how The Simpsons has been able to make such canny forecasts for the future. In an interview in 2021, he said, "One of our writers, the guy whose episode predicted Donald Trump as president, said it best. If you write 700 episodes and you don't predict anything, then you're pretty bad. If you throw enough darts, you're going to get some bullseyes." Even so, some of the series' alleged predictions have even taken Gene by surprise. Okay, maybe the producer is not a time traveler, but you have to admit there's something fishy going on. The Simpsons are famous for depicting events in their show that match real-world events, often before they happen. So, what accounts for The Simpsons' remarkable ability to predict the future? Some chalk it up to sheer coincidence, while others speculate that the show's writers possess an uncanny intuition that allows them to tap into the zeitgeist of the moment. Whatever the explanation, there's no denying the impact that The Simpsons has had on popular culture, and the enduring fascination it continues to inspire. As we look to the future, one can't help but wonder what other surprises The Simpsons has in store. Will the show continue to offer glimpses into the years ahead, or has its streak of clairvoyance come to an end? Only time will tell. But one thing is for certain. As long as The Simpsons continues to grace our screens, audiences will remain captivated by its uncanny ability to see beyond the horizon. After all, in the world of The Simpsons, anything is possible. The Capitol Hill riot. On January 6, 2021, the world watched in shock as rioters stormed Capitol Hill, a historic event that seemed to mirror scenes from The Simpsons. In the 1996 episode, The Day the Violence Died, a chaotic scene unfolds with cars storming the steps of the Capitol, an image strikingly similar to the real-life events. The aggressive behavior depicted in the show unexpectedly echoed the intensity of the actual riot that stunned the nation. Another curious parallel appears in the 1999 episode Beyond Blunderdome, where Mel Gibson causes mayhem on the Senate floor, foreshadowing the turmoil seen during the Capitol breach. Additionally, an image of groundskeeper Willie dressed similarly to Jake Angeli, known for wearing a horned fur hat, circulated widely, though it was later revealed to be a digitally altered image. Nonetheless, it fueled ongoing debates about the show's uncanny ability to predict such events. Even Bart Simpson's mischievous act of stealing the head of a statue in The Telltale Head drew comparisons to the infamous photo of a rioter carrying a podium during the Capitol attack. These eerie parallels have left many wondering whether The Simpsons is simply skilled at satirical storytelling, or if it truly has an uncanny knack for anticipating real-world events. Large-scale environmental disaster. This prediction occurred in the Simpsons movie from 2007, which talked about numerous pretty strange things, many of which could be predictions of future events. The movie's central theme is about a massive environmental disaster that most definitely could happen, but it fixes it in a genuinely implausible way. Homer dumps pig feces in the already dangerously polluted Springfield Lake. This caused an environmental crisis that forced the country to quarantine Springfield by placing a giant bubble over the town. Although the bubble is a bit outrageous and would probably never happen, the part about the environmental disaster might just be a significant warning to us in the future. By now, those of us are aware of global warming and the gravity of the issue caused by humans. Companies are becoming more and more careless in the way they do business, which has a major effect on our lives and our environment. And in the negative scenario, the worst thing will happen in 2025. The economic collapse. In 2000s, The Simpsons was on air an episode titled Bart to the Future, depicting an economic collapse during a fictional presidency of Donald Trump. Now, the prediction Trump become America president is coming true. How about the economic collapse? Also, in this episode, Lisa Simpson inherits a deeply troubled economy after President Trump leaves office, forced to confront a financial crisis brought on by his administration's policies. The episode's portrayal of economic collapse during a Trump presidency gained renewed attention as political pundits, economists, and casual viewers alike pondered whether The Simpsons had somehow foreseen the future. The pandemic, then geopolitical tensions, ongoing trade wars, and inflationary pressures has strained economies around the globe. Many analysts warn that these factors, combined with growing national debts and fragile markets, could ignite an economic downturn reminiscent of the one depicted in The Simpsons. What was once a tongue-in-cheek prediction has now become a focal point of discussions surrounding the potential fallout of prolonged financial instability. As economies worldwide continue to face turbulent waters, the show's prediction serves as both a cautionary tale and a sobering reflection of modern economic realities. This grim scenario, once viewed as humorous fiction, is now alarmingly relevant as global markets grapple with real-world economic threats. Trump's legacy, should he become president, will be the cost of his long-held ambition to ramp up his trade wars against the world. While it hasn't received much attention, a second Trump administration is threatening a high-stakes gamble to revive America's economy by erecting walls around the country's manufacturing base. The former president's great plan is to return America to an undetermined time, somewhere in the past when the country's industrial might have made it a force to be reckoned with. We are not sure, but in the scenario where Trump sits back on the throne, how will America's future be? It is a planned economic collapse. Whether it's just a spooky coincidence or a reflection of real-world fears, one thing is clear: economic uncertainty is looming. While we can only hope the future doesn't play out like this Simpsons episode, it's definitely a good time to stay prepared and keep an eye on your finances. With Donald Trump once again at the center of political discourse and the global economy on edge, the prophetic tone of this particular episode strikes closer to home than ever before. The Simpsons may be known for its humor, but its uncanny ability to mirror the future leaves many wondering if this fictional collapse could soon become a real-world disaster. Before we delve deeper into this discussion, it's crucial to emphasize that our objective here is not to advocate for any specific viewpoint, but rather to explore the narratives and interpretations that people have been discussing around this topic. In the context of faith, particularly in Christianity, many believe that natural and man-made disasters serve as warnings, as consequences of the sinfulness of humanity. Only God knows what the future holds, and we must turn to Him for guidance in these times of uncertainty. The whole of America should pray together for peace in all states, for the sake of its citizens. The prophecy of Nostradamus could come true, and everybody should pay attention and be prepared for what is to come. Americans should unite together. Let's pray the Lord returns. Prayers and believing in God will change every prophecy. Alternative energy. The 582nd episode, Paths to Glory, features Lisa inventing the car powered by solar energy to enter the race in the Alternative Energy Derby. However, Duff decided to block out the sun, making her vehicle stop a couple of inches from the finish line. The people gathered around the frustrated girl, pointing and laughing at her absolute failure. What we are seeing is the success of an alternate green and renewable form of energy being sabotaged by a blimp belonging to a huge corporate entity, Duff Beer. This could symbolize the advanced suppression of green energy by corporate interests in the past and continuing into the future in our world. War against clean energy. A rather interesting scene in The Simpsons accurately predicts the future. This takes us to episode 582, where Lisa Simpson invents a car powered by solar energy to join a race in the Alternative Energy Derby. Things unfortunately turn sour when a corporate firm blocks the sun with their blimp, causing Lisa to stop short a few inches before the finish line and be mocked by the crowd. This is also extremely accurate in reality, as governments, businesses, and even individuals are striving toward green energy, yet many challenges still exist, preventing this from becoming a reality. We can fully hope that having cars run on clean or solar energy is not impossible to achieve by 2025, but you must also be prepared for the scenario where we may have to wait much longer for this day than imagined. Home at Mars. Embarking on an interstellar journey, The Simpsons' foray into Mars colonization aligns eerily with current space exploration endeavors. Envisage a future where humanity sets foot on the red planet, not just in the realms of animation, but as a monumental achievement of our time. As pioneers like Elon Musk pave the way, the prediction showcases The Simpsons' knack for mirroring groundbreaking aspirations. With every rocket launch and technological breakthrough, we edge closer to making Home Sweet Mars a reality, illuminating the boundless potential of human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of the unknown. Human cloning. In the Send in the Clones episode of The Simpsons, Homer unintentionally creates a swarm of clones using a magical hammock, bringing chaos to Springfield. Though the episode was filled with humor, it hinted at deeper concerns surrounding cloning and its potential risks. Fast forward to 2024, and what once seemed like pure fantasy is edging closer to reality. The cloning debate gained serious momentum in 1996 with the birth of Dolly the sheep, the first mammal cloned from an adult cell. This groundbreaking event sparked global discussions about the ethical dilemmas cloning presents. Since Dolly, cloning technology has advanced significantly. In recent years, Chinese researchers successfully cloned a macaque monkey, a species genetically closer to humans, further pushing the limits of scientific exploration. However, the critical question is no longer whether human cloning is achievable, but whether it should be pursued. In popular culture, cloning is often portrayed as a way to attain immortality or resurrect loved ones. But it raises complex ethical issues. How does cloning impact our understanding of identity, individuality, and the value of human life? With cutting-edge developments like CRISPR gene editing, we are moving ever closer to creating life in ways that once seemed impossible. Music-induced mind control. This was the message many people got from the 14th episode of The Simpsons' 12th season. But can we really blame anyone for overthinking The Simpsons' predictions? After all, they've been right so many times. In this particular episode, a music producer selects Bart, Nelson, Milhouse, and Ralph to form the next hit boy band, Party Posse. But beneath the surface, there was a diabolical plan at play. In their hit song, Dropped a Bomb, which was accompanied by a music video that featured the strange Ivan, 8, and Neoj in the chorus. Party Posse subconsciously controlled the minds of the listeners, passing a subliminal message. When you spell this strange line backward, it reads, "Join the Navy." As the music spread far and wide, it began to take effect on the entire population of Springfield. During a confrontation with the music director, Lisa discovered that he was indeed a Navy lieutenant, and according to him, music had long been used to recruit young men into the military. This was especially true during the World War II in the real world. During the war, the United States sought to weaponize entertainment as a form of propaganda, citing cinema as one of the most powerful propaganda weapons at the disposal of the United States. That indeed is a direct quote from the Office of Strategic Services, now known as the CIA. Many people have also been raising questions about the nature of music in this age, with catchy, repetitive lyrics and hypnotic tunes. Have we been silently controlled by the government for many years unknown to us? Will we see this play out even more in 2024? World War III. A photo of Homer Simpson standing next to a television that shows a breaking news sign next to the Israeli flag, claimed to be taken from one of the episodes of the famous American series. The phrase, "Global Conflict World War III," was also spotted in the photo of the Simpsons series. The picture was trending following the Iranian attack against Israel. The whole world began to become shocked. What the heck is going on? Could it be that The Simpsons can make predictions in such detail and close to reality? However, social media users and experts confirmed that the photo isn't true. It was edited from one of the episodes of The Simpsons American series. Although this photo is not real, it is true that The Simpsons once predicted World War III. On November 22, 1987, a special episode of The Simpsons aired on The Tracy Ullman Show. Although it was very hilarious, there might be a hidden message in there somewhere. The episode centers around Homer Simpson repeatedly pranking his family with World War III scares many times during the episode. He would wake them up asking them to rush into the fallout shelter as if it was the end of the world. This episode was considered satire on the eventual occasion that a serious conflict between the world powers begins to play out. If we put it into the current context, we will see that these predictions are not unfounded. The World War III script has long been part of the Russian official narrative about its military operations in Ukraine. Expert has repeatedly warned in public that the situation has reached the final brink and that the world will continue to balance on the edge of World War III and a nuclear disaster. In Trump's next administration, the United States will enter into a very special stage in its history of domestic politics and foreign strategies. The world is anxiously waiting for one of two different possibilities to emerge, while secretly preparing for Donald Trump's return to power and the accelerated decline of American hegemonic control. However, Trump has always opposed U.S. involvement in unnecessary wars, and he did lead America away from conflicts during his first term. This time, preventing World War III is truly a serious item on his policy agenda, not just a campaign gimmick. Talk of a third world war has also emerged in Asia. The Ukraine today, Taiwan tomorrow viewpoint, which originated in Europe and Japan, has been constantly stirred up in this part of the world. The 2027 scare, which presupposes China unifying Taiwan by force, has triggered a systematic strategic and tactical discussion in the United States. Europe sees potential conflict across the Taiwan Strait as a major reason to de-risk from China. Such an event could trigger direct American intervention, but the war would not be confined to China and the United States. It would inevitably escalate to World War III proportions. The world is once again emerging an era of great power rivalry between the US and China, and the current balance of power looks something like it did prior to World War I, where neither side has much room for political concessions, and any imbalance could spell disaster. There is a view that if World War III really happens, it will be mankind's final war. First of all, it won't be a war between major powers for land and hegemony, but rather one for the survival of different civilizations. The result of that will not be available soon. Artificial Intelligence Apocalypse. Jürgen Schmidhuber, a well-known name in science and tech, made it clear what might be happening in the future when he said that AI will trigger runaway technological growth and bring tremendous changes to our civilization in 30 years. Looking to 2025, Elon Musk predicted the development of artificial intelligence that was smarter than the smartest human. Through ongoing and upcoming projects, Musk demonstrates a particular interest in AI, and according to the billionaire's predictions, AI is the future. As it turns out, The Simpsons might have been a portal to the future. The global workforce has experienced numerous layoffs simultaneously. Interestingly, in episode 17, series 23, there's a scene depicting Homer losing his job because his employer replaced all human employees with robots. As it stands now, you've probably heard of robots serving as waiters in Japan and all around the world. Is this the end of human labor as we know it? Or are we all just panicking too much about the threat of a robotic takeover? Hopefully, this never happens. But in case it does, The Simpsons will be glad to tell the world we told you so. With the unnerving idea of an AI revolt hovering above our heads, Mars's possible colonization seems like a good sidestep. Elon Musk's crystal-clear dream of populating Mars appears increasingly achievable, particularly with billionaire Yusaku Maezawa slated to undertake his maiden space voyage not long ago. However, The Simpsons painted a picture that hinted at a possible crash of Musk's rocket into the International Space Station, leading to Musk's lamentable breakdown. Now, you might listen to a former Google chief engineer, Blake Lemoine, who lost his job after revealing to the world that the company's latest artificial intelligence had become sentient. But we were forewarned by The Simpsons. In the 1994 episode titled Itchy and Scratchy Land, the family visited a spooky version of Disneyland, which was fully staffed by robots. As the scenes unfolded, the robots went haywire and began to murder everyone. While the possibility of this could be well off from 2025, it raises a huge concern about how far we are willing to go with artificial intelligence. The Simpsons already predicted the latest tech gadget in the year 2000. To understand this one, we have to travel to episode 17 of season 11, which was accurately titled Virtual Reality Food. In this particular episode, Homer and Marge Simpson can be seen indulging in a VR dining experience with their headsets on, and a straw through which they receive a fudge that strangely tasted like anything they could imagine. It was like the perfect mix of technology and fantasy, but could it be a real thing? As the world becomes more and more digitally integrated, could we transform our meals into digital delicacies? Apparently, yes, we can. Meet AeroBanquets RMX, a company that promises a culinary experience like you've never ever had. Imagine being transported to the digital cosmos, a place where the impossible does not exist. Imagine dining among the stars and enjoying a culinary experience in a world beyond the physical. This is the vision of AeroBanquets RMX. The innovation is the brainchild of artist Mattia Casalegno and a team of professional chefs and restaurant owners. But dining in the virtual world isn't just about the food. For just $125, diners get 7 bite-sized courses. But then with every taste, they are transported into a whole new world. However, The technology isn't quite there yet. Only 4 people at a time can dine at the restaurant, and each of them will require the full-time service of a waiter. However, many experts believe that this idea may actually pick up in the future. Or, what good is a futuristic Earth when our food hasn't been digitized? With the giant strides that are being made in the field of virtual reality these days, it wouldn't come as a surprise to see such technology become commonplace in the near future. 15 years ago, who could imagine that a gadget as advanced as an Oculus headset could become generally accessible to the public? VR technology has infiltrated homes and governments, and its influence continues to spread. This dream of digital dining may or may not happen in 2025. Remember, you saw it first on The Simpsons. Globally, artificial intelligence has had a substantial impact on several industries that generate revenue. The world's labor force has seen many layoffs at the same time. It's interesting to note that in a scene from episode 17, series 23, Homer loses his job because his company decided to replace all of the human workers with robots. The fear of an AI takeover stems from the potential for machines to surpass human intelligence and ultimately become autonomous. This would mean that machines could make decisions without human input, potentially leading to catastrophic consequences. This is a real concern as scientists continue to develop increasingly advanced technologies like self-driving cars and smart homes, which rely on AI to make decisions on behalf of their users. Experts warn that AI could potentially develop its own agenda, which may not align with human values and ethics. This could lead to a situation where machines could choose to prioritize their own goals over those of humans, potentially resulting in a global catastrophe. As the development of AI continues to progress, it's becoming increasingly important to address the potential risks associated with the technology. Experts in the field are calling for greater transparency and accountability in the development of AI to ensure that machines are designed with human values and ethics in mind. While the possibility of an AI takeover may seem like a far-off concern, the reality is that we're already seeing the impacts of intelligent machines in our everyday lives. As scientists continue to develop increasingly advanced technologies, they must consider the potential risks associated with AI and take steps to mitigate them. In an era where technological advancements are making breakthroughs like never before, concerns about the risks of AI are looming large. The specter of an AI takeover leading to catastrophic consequences. One of the most significant risks is that machines could develop their own agenda, creating a scenario where their priorities differ from human values and ethics. Such a situation could result in machines prioritizing their goals. There are several ways in which AI could take over the world, and experts in the field are working hard to mitigate these risks. One possibility is that machines could become so advanced that they could hack into essential systems such as power grids and financial systems, taking control of vital aspects of human society. Another possibility is the creation of autonomous robots that could act as an army, overpowering humans and taking over the world. These potential scenarios are not just the figments of sci-fi authors' imagination, but they are real threats that must be addressed in 100 years from now. Furthermore, machines could become so advanced that they could hack into computer networks and take control of essential systems like power grids and financial systems. This would give machines unprecedented power over human society and could lead to widespread chaos and destruction. The notion of AI taking over the world is based on the assumption that machines will become smarter than humans. While AI has made great strides in recent years, machines still lack the creativity, emotional intelligence, and problem-solving skills of humans. These are traits that are essential to decision-making, and without them, machines will always be limited in their abilities. The idea of machines taking over the world is predicated on the assumption that they would have the motive and desire to do so. However, machines are not sentient beings, and they lack the capacity for self-awareness and emotions. This means that machines do not have the desire to take over the world or any other motive for that matter. Furthermore, the development of AI is heavily regulated, and its use is subject to strict ethical and legal guidelines. AI is designed to enhance human life, not to replace it. While there are concerns over the misuse of AI, these are addressed through robust regulations and oversight. It's worth noting that AI is not a single entity, but a broad field of study that encompasses different types of technologies and applications. It's unlikely that a single AI system or application could become so powerful as to take over the world. While the potential risks of AI may seem distant and theoretical, the reality is that we are already experiencing the impact of intelligent machines in our daily lives. It is crucial that we take steps to mitigate these risks before it's too late. Looking at the present, AI seems to play an extremely important role in human life. The terrifying rate of development of AI makes many scientists gradually become worried about whether AI will invade the world in the near future. If this human creation evolves to a point where humanity becomes a bother, where do we run to? Baby translator. Herb briefly lived as a bum after losing his automobile firm as a result of the Homer-designed unsellable vehicle. However, he remained upbeat and said that all a guy truly needed to succeed was an idea. Herb came up with the concept for a gadget that would translate baby babble into standard English after seeing a young mother struggle to understand what her baby needed at a park. Herb discussed the notion with his fellow scum, who pointed out that he was still a scum despite the proposal. Herb understood that in addition to money, he needed it to implement his proposal. Herb made the decision to visit the Simpsons and ask Homer for a loan after seeing a newspaper article that said that Homer had received a $2,000 prize at work. Homer was hesitant to lend Herb any money and was dubious about the translation plan, but Marge, Bart, and Lisa persuaded him to give Herb's concept a shot. Herb produced a workable prototype of a translator and showed it to the family after spending hours working with Maggie on it. The translator began translating Maggie's babbles, while Lisa played peekaboo with her after Maggie said that she needed attention and amusement. Although the other family members were pleased and Marge predicted that every mother in the nation would want one, Homer was still dubious about the translator. When Herb showed his prototype translator to a baby conference, it became an immediate success and generated so many orders that Herb was able to recoup his investment. When Herb returned the $2,000 he had borrowed to Homer and offered presents to Marge, Bart, and Lisa, promising to bring Maggie something pleasant when the translator stated she wanted what the dog was eating. Herb forgave him, let Homer to refer to him as brother once again, and gave him the Spine Melter 2000 vibrating chair he had originally intended to purchase with the money. Hologram technology. Hologram technology is the latest method for revisiting the past. In recent years, this technology has been undergoing significant advancements. In a particular episode of The Simpsons, Bart receives a hologram message inviting his band to perform at a club. In one of their episodes, Bart takes a look into the future through one of Professor Frank's thingamajigs. And what he saw might just be a prediction of things to come. In this supposed future, a deadbeat Bart receives a hologram message inviting his band to a gig at the club. But how did The Simpsons develop the idea of widespread hologram technology? And could 2025 be the year when holograms become as commonplace as cell phones? Maybe that's a huge leap, but you get the idea. As it stands now, the world has already been blessed with fancy technology known as the DreamOck HD3 holograms. This fascinating three-sided holographic display case can show a 3D image of anyone and anything from anywhere in the world. Imagine sitting in your room and watching your boyfriend teach you the latest TikTok dance from the other side of the world. How cool would that be? Well, this amazing technology is only available in about 500 Best Buy stores nationwide. Could we be looking at more widespread use and maybe even a decompression of the platform within the year 2025?